Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of, well, actually, I don't know what to call this. The community spotlight, the community highlights.
Yeah, community highlights.
Yeah, so about a week ago, I put out an open call to anyone to send me pictures on anything they want, anything that they want to show off, or some work in progresses that we could feature and showcase on an episode or on a Wednesday episode because, well, we've got an open slot because we're no longer doing D&D Wednesdays.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, God.
It's always really, really good to let the community show off their stuff. We're all, hobbyists, and we love painting minis and making our imagination come to life. So why not let everyone have a little time in the spotlight?
Yeah, exactly. And the response has been overwhelming. I think we probably need to make this into at least a part 1, part 2, part 3 episode thing. By all means, don't stop sending me images. I'm always happy to make a series on this because I think it's a worthwhile thing. It's a worthwhile series to get into, especially when giving back to the community because, well, you guys have been so awesome with me.
Yeah, and share the talent, show off what you can do, and inspire other people in their own work, because that's what we're all doing collectively together as hobbyists. You see something, you like something, you incorporate that into your own practice. Poor Bill.
Yep, I'm still recovering from COVID, so this is really a difficult episode for me, but I've got Molly here, so he'll pick up some of the energy slack, but I'm like, holy moly, I'm real tired.
Dear.
And real aching everywhere, and it's just it feels bad. It feels bad.
All of our hearts go out to you, brother. We know you're gonna heal up nice, and a couple weeks from now we'll both be hyperactive weirdos again.
Hopefully not in a couple of weeks. They said it was going to be 1 week. I took my booster for that.
Okay, in 1 week. I
took the booster for that.
Don't listen to me. I'm super not a doctor.
All right then. Let's get into it.
Right.
Let's get into it then. So first of all, first model showcased is one sent to us by a Mr. Adrian Strath. So he's a buddy of mine from Australia, from the Melbourne community scene. Awesome guy. I loved playing games with him. I had a few games with him. Very good player, but also very good hobbyist. He was the one that was really into weathering powders, and that really shows this model.
Oh, very much so.
Yeah.
I'm loving the brazers with that kind of pale, ghostly purple balefire. Most people go green because it's easy. Guilty. But that looks freaking ace.
Yeah.
Weathering powder is great. It's a little heavier than I'd put it on, but we all have our own technique, and I think it works with this composition. And it's nice to see Black Legion done up where the black is interesting. It's not just flattered highlighted gray on the edges. It's actually built up from what it looks like an undertone of a really dark green.
Really? Oh, I didn't notice that. I thought it was just black built up with grays and maybe some hints of purple in there in the highlights. I didn't actually realize it was
okay, because on my screen I see a little bit of a green tone.
Okay, interesting. Maybe Adrian...
We find out that one of us is colorblind.
Yeah. Maybe Adrian could comment on this video and
clarify
with us.
Well, is it purple? Is it green? Is the dress blue or is it gold?
Who's colorblind? Who has no eyes? Okay, so here's
Which one of us is tired because it's 2 a.m? Which one of us is tired because of illness? Who knows?
Yeah. Oh, geez. So, I actually pet peeve of mine. I really dislike Black and Gold. I dislike Black Legion. I dislike doing like ultramarines and stuff like that, I really dislike that color combination because it's so boring and dull. Um, I I think it's done really well on this model, where it's like not overly done. Like if you haven't seen the GW box art on the Black Legion, it's really, really, really overpainted and overdone. Like 2 coats of highlights on top of that, like and it's just like it looks great. But I've tried it on a couple of models, and it's just like it doesn't. I don't want to do the rest. I don't want to do past 1.
Well, and especially with the newest iteration of the Chaos Space Marines, there is a risk of making them way too busy, right?
Yeah, I feel like
you have so much texture to work with.
Yeah.
If you go like balls to the wall, highlighting everything, it's just not going to be a good time.
Yeah, like it's way too busy. I feel like this guy is supposed to be like some sort of a character, some sort of champion, Chaos champion.
Mm-hmm.
So I really like the choice in terms of the conversion work that he's done here. It's not too ostentatious. I think the bottom grill of that guy is from a Paladin kit, Grey Knight's Paladin kit.
Oh, nice!
Like, it looks like it. Yeah. And he's specifically chosen the legs with the least amount of dangly like crap on it.
Yeah.
And I'm not super sure where those braziers come from. Like, do you know where they come from, Malaya?
They're reminding me of either the not current Dark Apostle, but the one before, or perhaps coming off a corpse cart.
Okay, so these remind me of the ones you get from the Sisters of Battle one. Or the Demonology guy, the one that has fire all over him.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe, or possibly a Night Haunts thing.
Yeah. No, because I just stripped the Demonologist or the Master of Possession guy like yesterday. They don't look quite the same.
Yeah. I don't know. Put a bit of a question mark. But yeah, that's the thing, right? You would never think that was a conversion. You would think that was something that came in the kit. And that's usually where the best conversions come from. Like, the best conversions are always ones where, like, you just don't think that they're different, that they're not meant to be there.
Yeah, you think it's just a stock model that you've never seen before.
Exactly. That cloak as well, that's obviously from some sort of, like, I think that should be from a Black Templars kit or some sort of Dark Angels, like, sprue from somewhere.
Yeah.
Could be from some.
I love the motion of it.
I like that.
It definitely gives the impression of him marching forward in like a windswept battlefield.
I like the composition between the cloak and the ground, where it's a lot more earthier. So, because this guy's Black Legion, he could have very easily gone with a red cloak.
Yeah.
But that would have destroyed the kind of like earthy, kind of almost gritty motif that he was going for. Like
very much so.
If you did a red
so
cloak,
definitely successful.
Yeah. So way more successful to do it in like kind of like an off-white that's like dirtied up with some weathering powders like that. That's a very good way of doing it.
Yeah, it definitely helps the whole thing come together, and that black pop in the middle, because it's not it's not the majority. It's being framed by warmer colors.
Yep, exactly. I also like the small details in terms of like the eye pores. That's a purple rather than the regular like fiery like yellow and orange.
Yeah.
Yeah, because as you can see, there is a bit of like glowy eye effects like on this guy. He's got the glowing like
helm
fiery
lenses.
eyes, helm lenses. But the eyes don't have that. They're like a subtle purple, which means that your eye is always drawn towards the guy's face rather than the eyeball on his chest.
Yeah, rather than like ping-ponging all over the miniature at the various focal points.
Yeah, Yeah, I feel that's a big problem sometimes with some of the new GW miniatures where they're just overly done. There's like so much stuff on them. It's like you can't just highlight everything here. This is just
Yeah,
looks crazy. You don't know where to look at.
yeah, where it becomes almost like a sensory overload, and you lose the miniature in the amount of detail. Like you no longer get a cohesive piece.
Yeah. Is this like I
Yeah,
get the feeling that that sword is familiar. I think that's from an old Emperor's Champion.
I don't know. What's throwing me off is the little spike lug just above the crossguard.
Hmm. Yeah.
And that's reminding me of some old school chaos stuff. Like, do you remember the really good Realm of Chaos book that came out in, like, I want to say 5th or 6th edition fantasy?
Hmm.
Phil Kelly did it. It had like all the rules for the different factions, all in
Yeah.
one big like you to death book. There was a Corn Lord that had a sword that had a little spiky thing like that, but the blade was way different. So I don't
Yeah.
know if he's like cobbled something together, or if it's plasticard. But that's the vibe it's given me.
Yeah. It doesn't look like plastic card, to be very honest. It actually
Nope,
doesn't look like a plastic
unless
card.
dude did a damn good job.
Yeah. Yeah, but because this guy gives me the vibe of a Chaos Emperor's Champion.
Very much so.
Yeah, very much so. So I think that's where he was going with this. So
Yeah, like that feeling of like the lone champion challenging heroes of the of his opponent's army and taking heads in the name of Horus.
yeah, yep, that makes
Yeah.
that's the vibe I get from this model. Yeah. All right, we can't
Good
just gush
vibes,
over
Adrian.
this.
Real good
Yeah,
vibes.
we can't just like keep gushing over this model. So okay,
Yeah, we got more to go. Crap.
what do you think? Like what is the next step for Mr. Adrian if he wants to take this model further?
If it was me, a little more love to the blade because it's a bit flat.
Yeah.
So just differentiate the edge and the spine of the blade geometry, and I think that would be good to go.
Yeah.
And I personally would use slightly less weathering powder on the feet. Like not have it go quite so high up to the knee.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But otherwise, that's just a personal preference. I think what he did looks amazing. I personally would just tone that down and bring a little more detail into the blade, and I don't have any more notes really.
Yeah, I think for me it's the same thing. I would like to see the blade done with some more pizzazz because I find that the model is a little bit imbalanced because you've got this wonderful like bright like flame effects on the top top of the model. Like look at me, I'm pointing at the screen, going like, "Oh, look at this." But like the blade, which is pointing downwards, I think would be a very good like tipping and balancing point just to even out the model a little bit.
Yeah, even if you wanted to do it like a power sword, using that same purple palette that he's using in the flames, that would have been a good choice as well.
Yeah, just do like a purple power sword, or even just like do some sort of like do something with the blade, like something.
Yeah, even just
interesting.
very minor highlighting.
I think
Just
he
to give
has
it a little
done
more
highlighting on the
blade.
blade. I think he's definitely done highlighting on the blade.
Oh, he's done highlighting. Like you can see it on the tip. I just mean like a little more cohesive along the edge, and then spend a little more time on the spine of the blade itself. So like do that non-metal metal where you're using metal, so it's way easier kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. I see. Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah. Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. Yeah, like bit of differentiation on the blade. If you're gonna do something on the blade, I would say like don't do it in black or gray because they'll just blend into like the armor. I'd say do it in purple, do a power sword thing in purple, or like a magma thing in purple. Like, I think that works pretty well.
Yeah, that would be a really cool effect.
Yeah, so that'll even out the model and really like go from like, you know, you can work your eye down from top to the middle, the eyes, and then down towards the sword, or reverse goes up as well.
Yeah, so that way also if your eye catches the sword first, it follows up and then to the top of the model.
Yep, exactly. All right then, I think that was pretty good. Let's get ahead on to our second contender.
This fills me with joy.
So this killer can was submitted to us by Mr. Chase Tosh. I believe it is fully converted, like
it is 100% scratch build.
Yeah, scratch build conversion.
So it's all cardboard, glue. He's got some like pop twist tops in there.
Yep.
To make some of the gear bits. And what makes me so freaking happy about this is this reminds me of my beginning to my wargaming journey, where I'd have a handful of minis, and then like my buddies and I would scratch build stuff or convert like stuff out of toy cars and dinosaurs because we could get them at the dollar store, or like put bolters that we had extra on like little army dudes. Yep. And that just makes me so happy to see that is still around and still happening. Like, that's still a fundamental part of the community, and that's awesome.
Yeah. So I believe there's a lot of inspiration from Borderlands Claptrap, especially with the one missing arm as well.
Hell yeah.
That's a lot of that, and also with the one mono wheel as well. So there's definitely a lot of different influences in this, and I think it's a very job well done. It's fairly clean for what it is. The idea is quite like well furnished out, so it's obviously quite well planned out. And the paint job is
and you know what it is at a glance.
Yeah.
Which is always a risk when you're scratch building stuff. That you kind of lose what it's intending to represent on the field.
Yep.
And this is clearly a killer can.
Yep, definitely a killer can. Yeah. So if I was to give Mr. Chase Tosh some, like, how he could take this further is basically, I would say, maybe get some sandpaper from the hardware shop and sand down the surfaces a bit thoroughly. So
like super high grit.
Yeah. So like at this stage, I think that sub-assembly is your friend. So work your way through the model and try not to just build the whole thing up in one go, and like go with like arm bits, panels for the head and that kind of thing, and then like carefully sand them, because you're using like hot glue, and hot glue is never the most controllable thing in the world. Like it's real, it goes everywhere, and you can see it quite barely on some of the surfaces. But I think that can be very easily solved by just a little bit of like high grit sandpaper. Just sand it down a little bit more.
Yeah. So it's a little less textured, and where it is textured can easily be painted as if it were a weld.
Yep. Yeah. So it'll go a long way just to like crisp everything up and clean everything up, and really make it really make it into something that's like, oh, okay, yeah, this is like something that is like, something special.
Yeah, I would tend to agree. I would also maybe suggest pilfering some little bits of wire or guitar string to kind of add a little more mechanical components to like where the arm meets the body, stuff
Oh,
like that.
yep. Guitar string is
Yeah.
always. Guitar string is the best,
Oh,
and
is the best friend. So many power cables over the years have been friends discarded guitar strings or bass strings. Bass strings are great for plasma cannons.
yeah, because they're so thick.
Yeah.
Like, I usually go to my local guitar shop, and they've usually got like every so often there's like deliveries of like strings that are like broken, so they can't sell the set. So I'm just like, do you have them? And they sell them to me for like a massive discount. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I was lucky enough, especially in the youth of my hobby. Like my first roommate was a musician, so I had quite the supply of busted ass guitar and violin strings for a long time,
Yeah.
and just kept them. It's only been recent that I've run out.
Yeah. Literally, I just go up to any musician that has guitars and it's like, I'll give you guitar strings. I can probably do something with them.
You break a string today, man?
But yeah.
And then the one other thing I do is just a little gloss varnish on the view plate and a dot of white.
I would say we can take that further and just go, okay, the view plate. You could probably make a recessed view plate really easily with that cardboard.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, all you
smart.
you would need to do is basically cut out that middle square bit and just put it on flat onto the plate, and then that will be a recessed bit, an added bit of detail.
Yeah. And then you can make that bit look even more like glass and have the bit over top as if it's just like a plate.
Yep. I will say one thing. I think this bottle needs a little bit more rivets as well.
Yeah, rivets would be nice.
So a very easy way of actually getting rivets is if you can take one really busted up or really cheap like brush that you've had for a while, and basically you just get a bit of PVA and you just put dots and basically build it up.
And,
just build it up.
Don't touch them.
Oh, touch them after 30 minutes and then just put more PVA.
Oh, I mean like put the dot on, don't touch it, let it dry, then you're good.
Oh, no, you're not going to be good after the first application, but you need to build it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you definitely need maybe like 3 or 4 applications of the rivets to get on there, but like those make really good, really easy rivets, and it's basically just like one crappy brush. Just go boop, 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 boop. There you go. You don't need a rivet punch or anything like fancy like that.
I just learned something new.
Well, yeah, I mean, I used to like do a lot of conversions back in the day when I was in uni, so there you go.
Yeah, no, that's a good one. That's a good one.
All right then. Thank you very much, Mr. Chase Tosh. Keep them coming. We always want more of these pictures. Always nice to see what you guys are doing. Let's get on to the third image by a Miss 40K Babe.
No, 40K Babe.
So, I have some thoughts about this. I like that it's very recognizable as a Dark Angel's Inner Circle Terminator Sergeant or Ancient, I believe.
Yeah, or Captain.
Nah, I don't think it's a captain. It's not fancy enough to be a captain, is it?
Well, he's got the 2 big wingy ho-hos.
But the Sergeant has that. Have you not seen the Sergeant? Like,
Well, yeah,
the Sergeant upgrade sprue?
Have that.
The Sergeant upgrade sprue has a guy with a helmet. The wings are twice as big as his helmet.
Yeah, I know. I use them on the sides of armor and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is.
More than likely a sergeant.
More than likely a sergeant or an ancient or champion. Many, many ranks of Dark Angels that it could be, but not a standard Inner Circle Terminator. So I particularly like the added, the care you've put into the feathers on the wings. I'm not sure if that's panel liner or just the shading, but you can see on the wings that's very finely detailed. There's quite a lot of like shading and gradient onto it, so that's a very very good job. Well done to that.
I would agree.
The bone armor, as you
I'm
can see,
definitely thinking on the sword.
Yeah, it's very neatly detailed. The sword is a prime example of reverse edge highlighting. So as you can see, right, there's a black line that goes through the middle of this sword, but right next to that, there's a bright highlighted line just going past it. And then the same on the tip of the blade as well. So that's a technique I use quite a lot, especially for really, really sharp edges. It's really tricky, it's really annoying, and like, you know what, if somebody pays me enough to do it, like, I'll do it.
Oh, yeah.
But it's all about, like...
But it's a very technical technique. Like, you gotta get her just right.
Yeah.
But the end result is... that looks like a very, very well done dark black iron sword.
Yep.
Like you get a sense of weight, heaviness, and age to it just from the color.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah, I can't tell if this is like NMM or that is just the silver, but I think that the black edge highlight works well with both silvers and also NMM as well. In fact, NMM, it's basically required that you do the black.
Yeah, absolutely. I will say, compared to the feathers and the sword, the green is very flat.
Okay. Yep.
Like it looked like there is some highlighting going on there for sure.
Yeah.
It doesn't look very consistent, and it's not giving me... It might be the angle the miniature's held at, but it's not giving me, like, the cloth feeling, and it seems to be the same color as the Aquila that's poking out of his chest.
Yep. Okay, I see.
And that's just visually a little confusing to me.
Yeah. So the trap that people have is that the Dark Angel's cloaks are really dark. They're really dark green. So I can understand where she's coming from with the minimal highlights. Like they're very much more toned down.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing: we can apply the reverse edge highlighting and do that, and we can paint on the shadows of these cloaks.
Yeah.
To really like deepen those shadows, and especially differentiating between the Aquila and the cloak where it ends here. We can put some sort of shadow there to really like keep them apart and keep the cloak separate from everything else.
I would definitely have not chosen to do the Aquila in green.
But it is part of the box art. That's the thing, that the Aquilas are green on the Dark Angels.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. I think it would have been much easier to go with even just stone, because it would have popped on the bone. It would have popped on the green, and you don't have to get over reliant on gold or change the composition because there's not a lot of warm metal on the model.
Yeah, because warm metal wouldn't work well on the model. It's a bone colored armor. Yeah, it's a bone colored armor. You put gold next to bone, it looks like brown.
Yeah.
So
I would have gone with like gray stone or something.
Yeah, maybe you could have done extra bright highlights on the Aquila, because I don't remember the Aquila needing to be that dark. You can make it lighter.
That's true. Yeah, or do it in a slightly different shade, like it's carved from jade or something.
Yeah, do it in a much brighter green. Like, there's more power to you. It just has to be green. And I think like even the box art one is pretty bright as well, because it's got a lot of highlights.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, at least to my memory. Anyway, we kind of skipped over straight into the how you could take this further.
Oops.
Oopsies. Oopsie doopsies. I like the bone, especially on this left leg, just over here. The left leg is really done well.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you didn't continue that all the way through the other panels. Just a little.
No, not completely. We're just doing zoom in vision.
So I think to take this further, right? Like, or you can try this recipe out because I think what she's used is the Seraphim Sepia shade, which is the classic way of doing it, which I understand. But it does give you a much darker bone color once it dries. So I would recommend try Skeleton Horde, and then do your highlights on top of that, and then see how that goes. Because I think that'll give you a much, much, much lighter bone color.
Oh, it definitely does. Skeleton Horde is one of my favorite contrast paints.
Yep.
Works great. You need something. You need a light color a little bit darkened up. Horde that.
Yep, exactly. Exactamundo, and also the reds. Maybe give some shadowed highlights onto the red and the bolter as well, and then that should be all good.
Yeah.
It should be all good. All right then. Let's head on to our fourth.
Number 4.
Number 4. By a Mr. Ivan.
Mr. Ivan.
Yes, and
we got
he is
some
Russian.
Dark mechanics.
He is Russian. So this is a Dark Mechanicum conversion and custom paint job by Mr. Ivan. I've got some thoughts on this, but I want to hear what you think of this.
I love the painted on teeth. They really remind me of an earlier aesthetic for 40K, which I like. The overall composition of the model, like it looks like there's the tusky thing and like little like irregular armor plates put on here and there. Are those the original legs, or did he muck about with those?
Oh no, those are the original legs.
Yeah. I love the barrels and the toxic stuff all over the base.
It looks like his eggs.
I like.
He's got weird eggs. He's got weird eggs next to the barrels. You can see them, the green things.
Oh, that's what those are?
I think they're eggs. They look like alien eggs to me.
Huh.
Or cabbages.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That tracks for Dark Mechanicum stuff, so sure. I like that he put the little bit of rainbow power on the power cable there. That's fun. That's my overall thoughts. I'd say the one thing that is a little bit eye-catching and not in the best way is the banner right out front.
Okay.
Just my eyes tend to linger on it rather than see the rest of the model. And I don't know. Like, it's a good job on freehanding like a skull eating a cog. I just think maybe the positioning and how flat it is, it's just kind of distracting.
Okay. I see.
How about you, Bill? What are your thoughts?
All right. So my thoughts on this are, it's a really job well done. I like the conversions that he's put on it. I like the tusks. I like the freehanding teeth. I like the banner. I like the way the direction it's going in, and I really like the basing. The basing puts this model on a completely different, avenue.
Very much.
The basing really assists this model. Like, the yellows, the greens, the cabling, the red cabling, and the yellow cabling and the orange cabling that really makes this model pop. And it's a prime example of how basing a miniature well could like elevate it like so much higher than it like,
absolutely
than on its own. Um, I like the weathering that he's done. I can see like tinges of different like oxides, like blue and green oxides. Yeah, I think it's a job well done. If I were to take this further, I would say I don't like the spider legs. I would say keep the spider legs for another conversion, because in my head, I want to see more mechadendrites from Dark Mechanicum. I want this to be more.
You want it to be all like squiddly.
I want it to be more squiddly and more of an eldritch mechanical abomination, because that's how they're described. There's not many descriptions of the Dark Mechanicum.
That's
but
true.
The few descriptions we have in the books are eldritch mechanical abominations.
Yep.
So I want more tentacles. More tentacles on this.
More tentacles, more weird repulsor blobs, more dripping, draping, horrible mechanical monsters from beyond reality. I see what you're getting at. Yeah.
Yep, exactly. The banner, I don't find that distracting. I think the banner could have very easily gone to a gone onto a pole on top. Maybe?
Yeah.
That could have easily been done.
Yeah. Or even just if it was heated and bent a little bit. I think it's just that it's so flat.
Okay.
That's kind of like, I find it a little
because like I would argue that a lot of the Imperial Knights, their weird loincloth thing are really, really flat.
Yeah, which is often why I don't include them on my knights.
There you go. So I would say turn this into some sort of standard bearer, and then that should fix most of this up.
Mm-hmm.
But other than a difference in opinion as to what Dark Mechanicum looks like, I think this is freaking amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing.
Yeah, like that big grinning bloody shark myth. Love it.
Yep, exactly. Let's go on to a fifth and final one for this video. My COVID's really not happy about this. My lungs are not happy about this.
Oh, I'm so sorry for your lungs.
Oh god, feels like I've been smoking for 20 years.
Wait, I've been smoking for 20 years, and wait, are you getting my cough?
I think so. So we have an Empress.
Worst choice I ever made.
Yeah, no, don't smoke. Only do it if it looks cool. I don't smoke.
Only do it if it looks cool.
So we have an Emperor's Champ. Terrible advice. Don't follow, kids. We have an Emperor's Champion by a Mr. James Hargreaves. I hope I've spelled that right. But there you go. This is an Emperor's Champion. So I'm going to go first on this. I like how much effort that he's gone to the black armor on the Emperor's Champion, because you can see he's really gone to the effort of putting those sharp lighting effects just to get that curve and that shine on like the black armor just right. And that really is the only way to make, I believe that is really the only way to make black armor look nice. Like if you're a Space Marine and like really like a majority or scheme is black, this is like one of the few ways to make black look very, very nice. Very time consuming. Very true. Very annoying to do, but it does look good.
But really worth the effort for the end. Yeah.
Yeah. I like the knight's shoulder shield and the freehand that he's done with the sigils. That is some amazing freehand work, and it is very, very on point with what the Black Temples are like.
Oh man, that is so sharp.
Yeah.
He's got like Crusader crosses and Maltese crosses on there.
Yep, and he's even got a halfer in there.
Oh wow.
Yeah, there's a halfer in there. Yeah. So yeah, that's a really well done work. I like the combination of red and earthy tones with the Emperor's Champion sword. I think it's a very, very nice, dull, gritty way of representing the Emperor's Champion sword, because usually it's in like gold. And maybe that's...
but it still looks like regal and a very prized heirloom kind of item. Like a relic. But it's not bright, shiny gold on the handle and then the black blade. Like, the overall composition's much darker.
Yep, exactly. I also like the object source lighting he's done from his little like lantern on his pouch.
Yeah.
That's a really nice touch.
Yeah.
The blade also looks good as well. Again, standard NMM techniques.
But very well executed. It looks very natural as opposed to blocky.
Now on to what I think you could take this further with. I think that this model would have been served much better if that sword was a power sword, was a blue power sword, rather than gray NMM, because it blends too much into the power armor.
I would tend to disagree. I like the unity of the black blade and the black armor in this particular case. I think, my only real note would be a little more love to the base.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be my second note as well.
Or
gray basing.
That's where your point of contrast would be, as opposed to...
Gray basing on black armor, no me gusta, no good. You camouflaged in there. It may be good for real life. Yeah, it may be good for real life, like, camouflage. Like, but like on a model that small, that size, it's like no me gusta.
This is real life. This is tiny man. So like something similar to like your Necron's orange basing.
I'd say orange basing.
Would have just really popped the whole thing. Or even like a dude could be running through like a lush field. It happens.
Yeah,
but just something that is not gray like the rest of the model.
Yeah, not gray.
But I love the non-metal on the blade, so I personally would keep that.
So I see it as like I'm very much like taking inspiration from a lot of biblical like artistry work, where like heroes and angels would have like a big glowing sword and it's just like glows as bright as the sun as he points it up in the air. So that's the kind of feel I get from the Emperor's Champion, where it's meant to be like I hold the sword up and it glows and people go, right, we're gonna go in now.
Yeah.
We're gonna fight hard now.
I think I like it because it reminds me very much of like just my own mental image of the Emperor's Champion. The way the Black Blade is described, like both in classic things like the Codex Armageddon, where we first got him, all the way up to like some of the more recent Siege of Terra novels, where we're following Sigmundsson with the Black Blade just wrecking face.
Yeah.
But yeah, I personally think it's freaking awesome. I would just brighten the base, make it not gray. Like, literally any other color.
Yeah. If you do decide to follow up on the basing thing, I would highly recommend you do send this to the White Dwarf. You know this to White Dwarf? Because I think this is a White Dwarf worthy miniature, I think.
Oh, easy peasy.
Yeah. I think this is very much
the
a White
work
Dwarf.
he did on the tilting shield alone would get it in there.
Yeah, so just do up the basing a little bit more, change up the colors on the basing, and then send this off to White Dwarf and see the response you get. I think you'll get in. So very good.
Yeah, because it is a beautiful piece.
Yeah.
I also appreciate that the laurels are not bright gold.
Yeah, they're kind of like an off, like almost like they're very, very dark patina gold. Like almost like a brass.
Yeah, like patina bronze or brass. Like it has that dreamy undertones.
Yeah, those like really, really aged look, like when you get to church and you like, you pick up one of the candelabras and it's like, doesn't look gold. Doesn't look gold at all. It's been there for a while.
Yeah. But all in all, James, freaking killer work on a killer miniature.
Yep, exactly. All right then.
Right on.
I think this will be the end of the community spotlight video. So episode 1. Episode 2 will be coming out next Wednesday. So don't forget to continue giving us models to review.
Yeah, just get them on in. You can send them all up to Bill. If you feel like sending them to me, send them to me. We will compile a humongous heap of beautiful pictures and tell them why we love them.
Yes, exactly. So, again, I think I am well deserved for that like and subscribe if you haven't already done so. Comment down below if you agree or disagree with what we have. So remember to do that. I am doing this in the middle of recovering. Comment, get the algorithm up. I'm doing this in the middle of recovering from COVID. Sucks.
Yep, and it is 3:55 a.m. So we are two dedicated hobby dudes on the opposite sides of the planet.
Yep. So alright, share this around. Do us a favor and share this around. Share this with your friends, with your family, any one of your followers as well. Get them to check out this video. Because, hey, we,
Strike up a conversation with someone on the bus about us. We don't mind.
Yeah, we don't mind. Why not? If you see us on the bus, say hello to us. As long as I'm not...
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, as long as I'm not, breaking my quarantine.
What are you doing on the bus then?
What am I doing on the bus? Getting KFC. Why can't you order KFC? Got lazy. What?
That's backwards lazy. But yeah. Bill, where can we find you on your many social media goodness?
I have one social media, which is on Instagram at DragonToothMakes. Having a bit of a hiatus now from painting because I just can't hold the brush right now. I'm so tired. So tired from COVID. Tired.
Oh.
But I have been trying to paint, so very slow goings on.
It's good to take a break. You'll come back with much vigor.
Yeah, I've been posting a lot of my work in progresses for the new bat rep and the new model kind of intro scenes and stuff like that, which people were going oh no, I really like the Warhammer Warhammer Plus one where it has these model intros, those little label things and stuff like that. It's I could do that. It's no, you can't. It's you want to bet? Then I did it. He's
Watch him go.
Look, I did it. Now
see?
Yeah, I'm gonna do it all for the rest of the units in that as well. So and
you can find me on Instagram, Mr. Molly Malau. I do have a Twitch channel up. I can't get my audio to work yet, but I have working on it. So twitch.tv / Molly Malau.
The Molly Malau.
We'll have links when you can hear and see me at the same time.
The Molly Malau. Good.
Good.
Good, good. All right. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, and have a great day. Stay safe. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.